recording as well. Okay, so we are going to go through this beginner workshop for the upcoming Ghana Hackathon, which is scheduled for Saturday, 5th of July. And basically, the agenda I have for tonight is, it's quite straightforward. I think we can start, um, obviously, welcoming the participant, a brief introduction of what Zindi is. And then after that, I'll walk you through through the Zindi platform and how to sign up and register for a competition. Yes. I don't know. Okay, so that's the brief agenda for tonight. I guess before we start, I would just like to know how many of the people here are completely new to Zindi or who has used Zindi before. You're welcome to unmute yourself and talk, and you can also present yourself. Okay. Sorry, there's some background noise, so it's kind of difficult to hear what you're saying. Hello, anybody else want to present? Anybody else want to talk?
You are presenting.
Hi, Lady Julia. Sorry, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I think everyone's feeling a bit shy tonight, but that's okay. Hopefully, by the time we get to the Q&A part, you've lined up all your questions and you can introduce yourself when we go through the Q&A.
Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody said Josephus is talking in the chat. He joined the hackathon last year, and I've not been on the Zindi platform ever since. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. If nobody want to talk, then maybe I will go straight to the Zindi platform. Okay. I will share my screen and we'll start from there. Or maybe let me check this. Oh, Martin, completely new to Zindi, just completed a data science course which mentioned Zindi to me, interested in learning more. Oh, great, you're in the right place. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen now and we'll discuss what Zindi is. Okay. Can I actually share my screen? Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, good. So
Yeah,
that's
I can see your screen.
Okay, I'm going to start right here, like very first page, right? You can access this page through Zindi.Africa, and you'll probably see something like this. So Zindi is a data science platform where you can take part in competition. Not just competition, but you can also learn you can learn through practice. So there are different types of competition on Zindi. There are some of the challenge are called knowledge challenge, where you're simply trying to learn and improve your skill, test your skill. And there are also competition that have a prize attached to them, where you can win money. But either way, as we say at Zindi, whether you win a prize or not, the idea is that you're learning and you're testing your skill on real life data set. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate how to log in on Zindi. Right now I'm already logged in, so that's why I can see. And right now I'm already logged in, and you can see my avatar on the right, a photo of me, and I can kind of see what the feed is. I mean, the feed of the activity currently happening on Zindi, and this has to do with some of the competition that are currently taking place. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to sign off and then sign in again so that we can see how that works exactly. Okay, let me sign out. Please feel free to shout or stop me at any time if I'm going too fast or if something is not clear. Okay, so I've signed out. Okay, so okay, good. So this is what you have. So somebody who is completely new to Zindi will have access to this page here, and you will have to sign in or signed up, right? Okay, so when you click, so let me do that again. So when you click on the sign in button, you have here, I mean, in your, if you're completely new, meaning you don't have an account on Zindi, then you're signing up. So you click sign up and you have to provide a username, a country, an email address, which is linked to your Zindi account, and then a password, and then you signed up. Okay, in my case, I already have an account, so I'm not going to go through this. I'm simply going to sign in. Or maybe I can actually do this with, okay, let me just sign in. All right, okay. So, I'm going to sign in here. Okay, good. So I'm now signed in. Okay, so I'm signed in. And one thing I want to point out here is if I click on my picture here, I can have access to my profile. And this is basically what my Zindi profile say. And also, one thing is you can edit this profile, right? You see the pen here, so you can edit your Zindi profile. You can add a picture. You can have a description of yourself, and your Zindi profile will show your ranking and the number of points that you have won so far on Zindi. And one cool feature is that you can actually generate a CV. Okay, I'll come back to this. So let me go back to Zindi. And so when you're on this page here, you have different options that are available to you. There's one that says compete, job, learn, chat, leaderboard, and more, right? So let's click on compete, for example. So if you click on compete, so clicking on compete will show you the page where the different, I mean, you will have access to the different, by clicking on compete, what you see are the different challenges that are currently up and running, and obviously some of these are closed already. But here, for example, you can see that there's an
Joel,
amateur. Yes.
I don't know if it's for others, but I think your screen is frozen on the front page. Is it just
Oh,
me or is
really?
it others as well?
Please let me know. I'm not.
Maybe stop sharing your screen and share again.
Okay, let me do that. I've stopped sharing. Let me do the sharing again.
Oh, 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 it says my internet's low bandwidth, so I see Martin can see. Oh, brilliant. I can see now. Thanks,
Okay,
Joel.
good. So everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I can see your
Okay.
screen.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I'm going to go back to Zindi. Okay, so at this point I've already logged in. I mean, at this point I've already logged in. I mean, how should we actually do this? I don't know if people want to. Are you able to? Are some of you able to try this right now? Like try signing up or logging in into Zinzi. For those that already have account, please feel free to do that if you can. So at this point, I've signed into my Zinzi account, and if I click on compete, I can see the challenge that I currently. So here, for example, it says I see open
Hey,
challenge is 7. Yes. Dominic, do you have a question?
No, please. Sorry, my audio is on. Sorry.
Oh, no worry. It's okay. Okay, so here I can see the open challenges, right? So you see a list of open challenges. And for this challenge, there is a prize. And so when I click on a challenge, when I click on the title of the challenge, I have access to the challenge. Oh no, but let me go back. Maybe that's because I've kind of already joined this challenge. I should probably show you something. Okay, so this is what you'll probably see. If you have not joined a challenge, you will probably see, for example, the MPEG-G decoding the dialog challenge. There's a button that says join, meaning if you want to take part, if you want to participate in this challenge, you have to click join. And when you click join, there is you have what you see are the rules of the challenge. You can read this. I mean, basically describe the rules of the competition, the team size, if you want to work in teams or not, how the submission are scored, etc. The number of total submission that you can make, right? And if you click accept and join, you then have access to the challenge page where you can read the description of the challenge. So here you can read the description of the challenge, what the challenge is about, who are the sponsors of the challenge, etc. And the evaluation criteria, how the challenge will be evaluated. So this is under the info tab. And one cool feature that you can see here at the top of the page is the what do you call this? I mean, there's time tracking here. So the challenge started. This particular challenge started on the 27th of June, and it's going to close on the 22nd of September. So that allows you to track. As time progresses, how much time is left, and when you should submit. I mean, when you should make your final submission and so on, and when everything will be revealed. And you can also see that right now 65 people have joined this challenge. I mean, this is still a new challenge, right? So people are still signing up. So that's why you can see that we only have a few that have joined. And there's also a data tab. The data tab actually is provide all the data set and files that are necessary for this challenge, like your train set, your test set, etc., or any other extra information that are required for this particular challenge. So this is where you will find those. This is where they are found under the data tab. And there's also chat, right? I mean, the chat allows you to, you can interact with your fellow participant, your fellow Zindian. You can interact, you can ask questions in the chat. If there's something that is unclear, you can ask questions. And obviously people are welcome to collaborate and help each other. I mean, yeah, you can answer people's questions here. And we also have a leaderboard. So the leaderboard shows you, the leaderboard hangs the participant with, so there is a public score and a private score. Now the public score is based on 30% of the test set, whereas the private score is based on the 70% of the test set. So let's take a supervised, okay, let's take a supervised learning problem, for example, where you're trying to, let's say you're solving a binary classification problem. You want to basically check if there's a lion in a picture or not. So your test set will be split, your test set will be split 30-70, right? And part of it, when you make your submission, part of it will be used to give you what we call a public score, and the remaining 70% will be used to generate your private score. Okay, we'll come back to this. I don't know if, is there a question at this point? I feel like maybe I'm being too fast, but we'll go through this in more details. Any question right now before we continue?
I think you're good. You're good.
Okay, thank you. I just feel like maybe I'm going too fast. Okay, yeah, so that was a brief idea of what we have. And let go back to the challenge, to the competition page. Here is another cool feature I want to show. So you can actually sort, there are different type of challenges, right? So you have challenges. Usually the challenges are challenge usually take longer. Like here, for example, this challenge will be running for like about this challenge is running for 2 months. And another type of competition that you can have are hackathons. So hackathons are usually short competition, right? A hackathon will run in a day or a few days only. Like for example, the hackathon that we have, you can see that we have, when I search by hackathon, I only see the hackathon. Whereas if I remove the search, I will have everything that is open, right? Both challenges and hackathon. But if I come here and I decide to search by hackathon only, then I only see the hackathon. And so far there are 2 hackathons that are open. We have the Accra Mobility Prediction Hackathon, which will be, I mean, the one that we are currently having on Saturday. And what we can see is that so far 55 people have signed up, I mean, have joined the hackathon. Okay, maybe let me click on that. So we can see that so far 55 have joined, and this is starting in 4 days. Right. Okay, so how many of you have joined the hackathon so far? Anybody that has already joined? Is there anybody that has already joined the hackathon in the call? Okay, Albert. Okay, that's cool. Daniel as well. Okay, thank you. Please, those that haven't joined, please, you're welcome to join at the end of this call. Make sure you join the hackathon. I mean, I mean, you can even try doing that now, and if you have an issue, you can raise it, and we'll address it. Okay. So, okay. Let me go back. Okay, I'll go back here again. As I was saying, there are different types of challenges on Zindi. I mean, you have challenges, and most often these are associated with the monetary prize. You have hackathon. Sometimes they have monetary prize as well, or just points. And you have practice. Now, practice is for the purpose of learning. I mean, and under practice, what you have is you have challenges that have closed, or some that are called knowledge competition. And the sole purpose of this is for you to learn. So you're welcome to practice this, and usually this knowledge competition don't close. Like they stay open. They stay open for a longer period. They're always open because the purpose is for people to practice and learn. So this is a good place to start, especially if you're new to Zindi. Okay, maybe let's have a look at this one. For example, there's a Zindi Financial Inclusion in Africa knowledge competition. Oh, like I said, the very first thing you do is always you join a challenge. So if you when you eventually go to your when you eventually sign up on Zindi, right? When you're on the competition page, the first thing you have to do is join, because after joining, you're then able to submit. When you see submit here, it's because I've already joined this challenge. So if I click join here, I will have to read the rule again. And if I accept the rule, I join the competition. And I then have access to the description and everything that goes with the competition. So let me go back to I will go back to practice, and I'll go to this one here. So this is the Zindi Financial Inclusion in Africa Challenge, and it's a good place, especially for beginners. If you are new to Zindi, this is a good place to start. Okay, so the idea of this competition is whether you can predict who in Africa is most likely to have a bank account. And there is a brief description of the challenge here, right? And the evaluation. So the evaluation, under the evaluation, there's usually a description of how the challenge will be evaluated on which and what metric is going to be used. For example, in this case, we are using mean absolute error. Well, mean absolute error is used in this case because what you're doing is you're basically predicting, okay, so given some feature, you want to predict whether a given user has a bank account or not. So if they have a bank account, you indicate that by 1. And if they don't have a bank account, you indicate that by 0. Now, the mean absolute error here, and you can see that mean absolute error is highlighted. I mean, it's in a different color. So this is a link, and you can always click on this link. So if you click on the link, it will take you to, when you click on the link, it will take you to a page where this particular metric is described, right? And there's usually also a template showing what the submission file will look like. So basically giving, for each user, you want to predict whether they have a bank account or not. 1 if they have a bank account, and 0 if they don't. And for this particular competition, there are 25 points. Okay. Well, not not 25. 25 points for your first submission and 50 points for your first non-sample submission. And you can read more about Zindi point here. Right. And one thing we can also see is you have some starter video. So there's the YouTube video here. Now, this YouTube video will show you how to get started on Zindi and how to enroll on a competition.
Welcome to Zindi.
Right. So you're welcome to watch those. They basically show you how to the how to get started video will show you how to sign in or sign up on Zindi and how to join the competition and get started. Okay. Any question before we continue? Any question? Oh yeah, I see there's a message here. Oh yeah, no, there is a link in the chat just that you can use to sign up for the challenge. Right. Any question before we continue? Any question? I see the complete page. Right. How do you submit your work file format or okay, good. That's a good question. I'm going to discuss how to make a submission now. Okay. Let's go back to the yes. Any other question?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Please also feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah, but so it's okay to
Hi, Joel. I'm just going to read out the questions so everyone can just hear in case they've missed it. So how do you submit your work, file format, or what? You said you're going to go through this week. Per the challenge this week, are we to sign up for the Yango Hackathon? And what's the difference between a sample submission, and a non-sample submission? Will we have to make 2 submissions, one for the public and one for the private leaderboard? So that's just for everyone who lost those messages, and then Joel will get to answering them as we go through.
Okay, good. So I'm going to answer some of these questions by working through the financial inclusion hackathon again. So let me go back to the page. So let's assume we are working on this particular hackathon, right? We've read the description and we know what the problem is about. After reading the problem statement, what you do is you usually click on the data tab. When you click on the data tab, there are some files that you have to download. So there's a trend file. There's a trend.csv file here, for example. So this is a supervised machine learning problem. So we have a trend file that has the feature and the target. And we also have a test file where you only have the feature and you're trying to predict the target value. And in this case, there's also a variable definition file. The variable definition file usually describes what the targets are. Not what the targets are, but what the features are, right? Like for example, if you have each column, if you have features about a car, then maybe you have a feature called N, which refers to the number of doors, something like that, and that will be defined in the variable definition file. And there's a sample submission is a template that shows you what your submission file should look like. and that will, oh yes, and then answering your question. So basically your submission file here is a CSV file, and sometimes you have a starter notebook, or most often there's a starter notebook. So the starter notebook will help you make your first submission, and of course, and that's just a starter notebook. You then have to work on your notebook and improve it. So let's just try this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the files. Right, I've downloaded the files, and okay, let me share my. I've downloaded the files. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the starter notebook and make a submission, and you'll see how that works. So let me. Okay, so I have this. So let me go here. So this is Colab. New notebook. Oh, wait. Don't worry, I'm going to share my screen in a moment. I'm just opening the starter notebook in Colab. And when I'm done doing that, I will share the screen. Okay, good. Let me share a different screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. So what I have done is I have downloaded all the data provided for the financial inclusion hackathon or financial inclusion challenge, and I've opened the starter notebook, and I'm going to demonstrate how to make a submission. Okay, so let's quickly go through the starter notebook. So obviously, yeah, this is a starter notebook. Usually what you do is you import, some libraries are imported, right? And okay, so some libraries are imported, the data is read in. So the train file and the test file, as well as the sample submission files. So we are reading everything in here, and we can display what we have. So basically, this is what the train files look like, the train data frame. And the feature we have here is these are the different features we have: country, years, unique ID, bank account, and so on. So all these features you see are going to be defined in the variable definition file that I mentioned. So that's where the different features are defined, right? So that file is defined. As you can see here, country interviews in year survey was done. So that's the definition of that particular feature. And obviously, you can check the shape of your files. You can check if they are missing value. So basic EDA, right? And you can plot the distribution. Okay, so this is the distribution of bank account in the trend set. So we can already see, okay, so we have about 2,500 people with bank account, and the majority don't have bank account. So they know it's for those that don't have bank account, and the yes is for those that have bank account, right? And this is what I mentioned, the sample, what the submission file will look like. So this is basically just a template. Here, all the value. This is a template showing you what the submission file will look like. So for each user with a unique identifier here, you will have to predict whether he or she has a bank account. So this entry will be 0 or 1. And that's what your machine learning, that's what you're building the model for, to predict that value. Obviously, just again, looking, variable definition, right? Oh, a nice, okay, good. This is just data preparation for machine learning. Oh yeah, this is really a nice nice graph, right? Most of the times, like with most problems in data science, obviously cleaning and organizing data is a big part of it. If you do that well, then everything else follow. So usually building and training the model is usually just a small part of the work, as you see here. So, okay, right here we're just doing some encoding, processing categorical variable and all that, right? Okay. Okay, let get to right. Okay, let me run this. I'm going to put in the files here and just okay, let me okay, I'm going to run this notebook and run all. Okay, well, why this is running? This is really the most, yeah. Okay, good. It's actually done running. So let me save the submission. I've downloaded. So, okay, good. So we did train a model here, XGBoost. We ran it, and then we save the, so we are making the prediction here, right? We are predicting, given the test data, and then we are writing that, then the prediction are saved as a data frame here. Here we can see some of the prediction, a sample of the prediction, and then you write your prediction to a CSV file. And the index equal false here is very important. So always make sure you have index equal false. And this is downloaded. Now I'm going to go back to Zindi and make the submission, and you will all see how that works. Okay, let me go back to Zindi. I'm going to stop sharing this notebook and go back to Zindi to make this submission. Let me stop sharing. And let me share my Zindi screen rather. Okay, let me share this. Okay, I'm back on the challenge page, and I'm ready to make my submission. So what I do is I click on submit. When I click on submit, I can drag the file here, or I can choose the file that I want to submit. So I'm going to choose the file that I want to submit. Yes. Okay. Let me choose the file that I want to submit. It's called first submission. And of course, you can call this, I mean, you can give this file whatever name you want, but it has to be a CSV file. Okay, and then I click submit. And of course, I can add a comment here. This is my first submission. The comment is optional. You don't have to, but you can always comment on what you're doing. And one cool thing you can see here is the number of submissions you've made so far. So daily. So for this particular competition, the total number of submissions you can make per day is 10. And so far I have made none, so I have 0. And the total number of submissions that I can make is 200, right? So I click submit. Now I click submit, I wait for a few seconds, and my file is currently being scored. So you see scoring, and I got a score. There's my public score. So if I go to the leaderboard, okay, now when I go to the leaderboard, I can see what my score is. Right. Does that make sense? Any question? Anything that wasn't clear?
I just want to confirm what you've said. So, Mensa, do we need to make 2 submissions for public and private? No, you only need to make 1, like Joel showed us. And at the close of the competition, that's when you'll see your private score. So, just to confirm, you only need to make 1 submission, and you just need to submit a CSV file, a comma separated file. Sean, what's the difference between a submission and a non-sample submission? If Joel goes onto the data page and scrolls down to the sample submission is what Zindi gives us. So that's the file you submit. If you submit a sample submission, I believe you only receive 25 points. However, if you build a model and if you put your predictions into the sample submission format, then you receive more points. So you can still call your submission sample submission, but as long as it's got your predictions in it, it won't be considered a sample submission. I hope that helps. And
Okay,
then for your question, Antwi, while the competition's running, just as Joel has shown us, we only submit our CSV file. At the end of the competition, we'll request the top 5 to submit your code. So just focus on submitting your CSV files for the challenge.
Okay. And for this particular challenge, because this is meant to be a knowledge competition, so there is no closing date. So obviously you don't see the timeline at the top of the page here. And you also notice that there is no private score here, because I mean, the competition is not meant to be closed, so it will only see a public score. But then if I go to a competition that is closed already, you can see that, maybe let me try one that is closed already. Okay, let me try this one. Okay, this competition is closed already. I mean, you can see that there is a public score and a private score. and you can see that medals are awarded to the top participant, right? Okay. So going back to, okay, that's it. Oh, good. So right now we have 57 people that have joined. So this is the challenge that we'll be working on Saturday. So this is the one that you have to join, right? And there's a link in the chat to join that particular challenge. Okay. Yeah, I think Amy answered this question about making to submission. Any other? Okay, good. Thank you. Any other question?
Yes, please, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I read on the site about forming teams 5 days to the challenge. Does that mean that like we have to create our teams latest by today?
Oh, you mean um I think the competition is not yet open, but people can already join. Can people actually make form before the competition start?
Yes, you can. So,
Okay.
Nathaniel, what I recommend is I recommend finding your best friend, telling them to sign up to Zindi, telling them to sign up to this competition, and creating a team with them as soon as possible. So you can make sure that your best friend is in the team with you and they don't get caught by someone else. So that's my recommendation.
Okay.
But
Good.
there's no deadline to when you have to create the teams.
Nathaniel, could you repeat that, please?
He's asking whether there's a deadline to when you can form your team.
You can create a team all the way from right now, all the way up until 1 hour before the competition ends. So all the way up until 4 p.m. on Saturday, you can create a team.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
But I also believe some can just do it individually, right?
Yes, you can work individually if you want. You don't have to.
And how many times can they submit for this particular competition?
Okay, let me go to the rules. Okay. Oh, I must have read this somewhere.
Keep scrolling down to the rules.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. Here it is. Submission limit. So you can make, this is the maximum number of submission you can make, 100 submission. But of course, take into account that the team size is 4, right? So if there are 4 people in a team, and each, I mean, if there are 4 people in the team, the 4 people can only make a maximum of 100 submission. And if you're working alone, you can make 100 submissions. So that's the total number of submission that you can make. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? Oh, and then one other thing, I think, yeah, this hackathon is only open to Ghana. So I think for those that are new, those that are new on Zindi, when you sign up and when you're editing your profile, I mean, when you're editing your profile, your country should be Ghana. Because I mean, if you're joining the hackathon and you're not from Ghana, then you won't. I mean, you won't be able to join. So this is only open to, yeah, to Ghana, helping Ghana. Okay.
Hello.
Any other question?
Yeah, Joe. So
Yes.
we have students at some of our Ghanaian universities who are not Ghanaians. But
Oh no, that's fine. They can put Ghana. They can put Ghana as country. It's okay. I mean, as long as they're resident in Ghana, it's okay. So
Okay.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's perfectly okay. You can just put Ghana as the country.
Okay.
That's something. I mean, yeah, that would be okay. Any other question? And of course, maybe one last cool feature on Zindi is, like I said, when you go to your profile, I mean, each time you take part in challenges and you win medals, those medals will show on your profile. And you can always get a CV. Like when you click get CV, that will generate based on the information on your profile, you'll be able to generate a CV. You can generate a CV on Zindi based on the information on your profile, showing the challenges that you've participated in, the medal that you've won, those type of things. Any other question? Please, I joined late. What is the venue, please? I think maybe Dr. Nee can answer this question.
Yeah, I've posted it in the chat. Is at the
Okay.
University of Ghana.
University of Ghana.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any other question?
I think we're good. It's 7, so I think we're good.
Okay, good. I think if there is no other question, maybe we can call it a day. I mean, thank you for coming and for participating. Oh, just to clarify, can we also join remotely?
Sorry, my
Yes, yes, you
connectivity.
can. You can join remotely if you are not able to be at the University of Ghana. You can join remotely. That's okay. Okay.
I just want to leave with one comment, is that as someone that was new to data science myself, I found it quite scary to make my first submission to Zindi. But when I did, I felt really confident and really proud of myself. So I want to encourage all of you to make a submission, even if it is the worst, most embarrassing thing in the world. Just trust yourself, trust the process, that this is your first step and that there's no losing on Zindi, there's only learning. 1 in 5 Zindians land a job based on what's on their profile. So even if you come last or second to last or third to last, you're building up your profile and you're showing people that you can work from the bottom to the top. And we've got some amazing stories about people that started at the bottom and who are now working for amazing international companies. So I want to encourage you to be brave and just to try. What's the worst?
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Please, before we go, with the joining remotely, does it mean you don't have to be there in person on Saturday? Well, I mean, I will say if you can be there on Saturday, please be there. I think there's always, I mean, being there in person is always, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I feel like if you can make it, if you can be there physically, please do. But then if you can't, then I understand. Then you can join remotely.
So let me also help. If you're there physically, there'll be food in the morning.
Okay, good.
Afternoon,
Yeah.
there'll be free t-shirts. There'll be some paraphernalia, Yango paraphernalia, and what have you. So if you're outside Accra, fine. But if you're in Accra, try and be there, and you'll enjoy all these goodies.
Okay,
And
good.
just to add on, also some winners who will be within the building will be given some rewards. So it would be great to have people physically.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, really, thank you for coming and thank you for taking part. So I think from now till Saturday, you're welcome to go on Zindi and practice. You can try some of those practice challenge for those that are new, just to make sure that you're completely, I mean, you're familiar with how to make submission before the day of the competition. You can, yeah. So you're welcome to start practicing and using the platform. If there is nothing else, then we can stop. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome, Joel.
Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Good night, everyone.